Red Hood and the Outlaws number 9, written by Scott Lobdell, art by Kenneth Rocafort. This is a Night of the Owls tie-in, and the person that we have to protect from a Talon is, of course, Mr. Freeze. Last issue, Jason was contacted by Alfred, although indirectly, he kind of just eavesdropped on the conversation, and found out that Mr. Freeze needed some protecting. And this issue basically picks up at the exact same spot where they're overlooking where Mr. Freeze's lab, I guess you could say, is, and it is a completely, like an entire city block just covered in ice. And they're like, okay, cool. So just to get this straight, we need to save Mr. Freeze from an assassin, but also save the city block from Mr. Freeze. And they're like, yep, sounds like the plan. So immediately, Jason's like, all right, here's the thing. I'm going to take care of Mr. Freeze. I'm going to go get him. You guys start defrosting the city block, and we will meet up after then. So Starfire, of course, has no problem just melting away all the ice with her power set. And he's being very angsty, as he usually is. But the rest of the team is calling him out on how angsty Jason's being. And he's like, well, yeah, like, I'm sort of kind of working with Batman, and that's not really something I enjoy doing. So I don't know why I'm doing it, but here we are. So anyway, he busts into the building, and there's a little comedic beat of him busting into the wrong floor, and he has to go up to the right one. But he sees the Talons already attacking Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze is just pissed off at the Talon as well. So they're fighting each other. Red Hood jumps in the middle, and he's like, What the heck is going on around here? You guys need to stop fighting right now. And Mr. Freeze is pissed off because I guess it says later on that the Court of Owls was funding him and using his tech for the purposes of preserving their talons. And he didn't know. And now that they came to kill him because he's a loose end, he's super pissed off that that's what it was. So, yeah, there's that. But anyway, he arrives and he tells Jason, like, what the... Dude, they're out there killing a whole bunch of people. I don't need protection. Get the hell out of my lab. And he's like, I'm trying to help you, Victor. And he's like, screw you. And he freezes Jason's hand solid with a block of ice. And as soon as Jason's like, what'd you do that for? He's like, because you're useless. And you let the assassin get away. And he's like, good point. Hold on. I'll be right back. So he goes and chases down the Talon, who... There's some sort of like Chinatown parade or something going on. It's just a thing in the background. And I don't know, they're talking and they're saying, like, the Talon reveals that he is undead. He's come back to life. And Red Hood's like, wow, we have a lot in common. Ain't that something? So as they're running down the streets of the city, Jason meets back up with Roy and Starfire. And he's like, all right, new plan, guys. You guys go up, take care of Mr. Freeze. Like, don't kill him, but just make sure he's not a problem. And I'm going to go take care of the Talon. Okay, bye. So Starfire goes up and starts talking to Victor. He's like, hi, I'm here to help you and make sure everything's okay. And she gets blasted by a freeze gun and immediately just starts cursing out in her alien language. And Victor comes over to the window and is just like, go away! Get off my property! Next person to come in here is getting the horror of frozen death. And so Starfire shoots back up again very angrily. Then we see Jason following after the Talon, and the Talon is doing a whole bunch of acrobatic moves, and it just so happens to move by a billboard for Haley's Circus, and those two little wires in Jason's head connect, and he's like, wait a minute, that can't be coincidence. What's going on around here? And the Talon leads him to this big empty lot, and Red Hood's like, hold on, this empty lot is where Haley's Circus sometimes was. Did you run away to the circus when you were young? Is this a deep, dark secret for you? And he's like, when I was made a Talon, they took away my body, but never my soul. And, they're literally having a heart-to-heart. And Jason's like, I didn't expect that to go this way. All right. So anyway, we see Starfire fighting Mr. Freeze. And she's just kind of chewing out Mr. Freeze for working with the Court of Owls at all. And he's like, I don't care about their whole ruling class thing. They said they wanted to get rid of Batman. That's what I was in for. And while she's distracting him, Roy comes up, shoots an arrow at his dome over his head, and it's a shock arrow, so it knocks him out. End of his story. So then we cut back to Jason and Talon, and I guess the heart to heart was going well because the Talon has demasked himself. He said his name is Zhao Lung, and he doesn't like being a Talon anymore, and he wants Red Hood to put him out of his misery. So he hands him his gun and whatever and says, like, please let me go out on my own terms. And Red Hood's like, all right. And he kills the Talon. So then cut to, I don't know, maybe like half an hour later, Batgirl standing on top of the GCPD. She's taking care of her Talon from her book, and she's waiting for Batman just to see that he's okay. And Red Hood comes by and drops off Mr. Freeze, and he's like, hey, yeah, I helped you guys tonight. I can be nice. Maybe try to remember that from time to time. And Batgirl's like, that doesn't forgive all the horrible things you've done. And she's like, all right, whatever. I tried. Tell Batman you're welcome. Peace. And he just bails out the rest of his team. And that's it. Pretty wrapped up all in one story there. It explained everything to open with and then, cleared it out just as quick. I don't dislike it as much as I disliked some other issues. Primarily because it's not trying to be just quippy. It's telling the story, and it does have actually a little bit of heart in there. But it also, like, sometimes it does still have quips. Like, I don't know. There's one part in here where he's like, maybe being home again makes me anxious, confused, ambivalent. Who could blame me? And I'm like, shut up. Like, it's just a little bit too much on some sides. But no, it wasn't an awful issue. I'd say 6.5. That sounds about right. 6.5 for this. And honestly, I feel like the biggest flaw in terms of just keeping it as its own story is that the Talon felt like such a non-threat. It was just a dude who couldn't even stand up to Mr. Freeze, in close combat, mind you, and then just said, you know what? Nah, I want to die. That's it. So, yeah, kind of a non-threat there. But, hey, the issue as a whole, it's done with, and there's not really much leading out of it, so we'll see what happens with Red Hood in issue number 10.